The situation in Bangladesh continues to worsen as religious minorities face increasing violence and repression. The brutal attack on a lawyer defending Hindu monk Chinmoy Krishna highlights the growing risk for those advocating for minority rights. Das' arrest on sedition charges has sparked widespread concern, with reports of hundreds of incidents of violence targeting the Hindu community since August. International voices, including UK MPs, are raising alarm over the escalating violence and the failure to protect minority communities. A report.
A Bangladeshi lawyer who was defending Hindu monk Chinmoy Krishna has been brutally attacked by Islamists at his home. The lawyer is now in the intensive care unit fighting for his life. ISKCON India, which reported the attack, describes it as a sign of the growing dangers faced by those defending the rights of religious minorities in Bangladesh. This attack follows a series of violent incidents in Bangladesh following the monk's arrest. Arrested on November 25th at Dhaka airport, Chinmoy Krishna is facing sedition charges for allegedly disrespecting Bangladesh's national flag during a rally in October. According to reports, lawyers denied appearing for him during the bail hearing in a court. The charges and his arrest have sparked controversy and fear for the safety of religious minorities in the country. The incident has added to the growing tensions between India and Bangladesh, which have been escalating following the ouster of Sheikh Hasina. While India has raised concerns over the situation, the international community is beginning to condemn the violence. Recently, British MPs brought up the violence against Bangladesh Hindus in the UK Parliament.
Since the fall of the previous government in August of this year, Bangladesh has seen more than 2,000 incidents of violence, most of which have been targeted against the minority Hindu community. Hindus make up less than 10% of the Bangladesh population, and my honourable friend will be aware that anti-Hindu violence has been a recurrent event in the country, and indeed the Jamaat-e-Islami party was earlier this year banned after riots in which 200 people were killed. But whilst Bangladesh no longer has the secular constitution of 1971 and became an Islamic state in 1988, there are nonetheless supposed to be protections for minority religions under Articles 28, 39 and others of the constitution. These appear not to be being enforced.
In response to the deteriorating situation and arrest of Hindu religious leader, Bangladeshi feminist author Taslima Nasreen, who was forced to flee the country for her outspoken writings, expressed her concerns on social media. She pointed out the double standards in the country's approach to flags, highlighting how the placement of the saffron flag above the Bangladeshi flag is deemed treasonous, while the flag of the extremist group Hizb ut-Tahrir, when placed above national flag, is considered patriotic. Meanwhile, protests against the treatment of minorities in Bangladesh are being held across India, drawing attention to the growing repression. UK MP Priti Patel has called for the British Parliament to outline its engagement with Bangladesh on this critical issue.
The degree of escalation in the violence is deeply, deeply concerning. And what we are witnessing now is just uncontrolled violence in many quarters. And we are now watching with horror and shock as further violence is spread in Bangladesh. And all our thoughts in this House are most definitely with the diaspora community here and those who are affected in Bangladesh. These are deeply disturbing reports. So given the current instability in Bangladesh and since the departure of the former Prime Minister in August, this is a moment of deep concern. Many governments are condemning the violence and calling for peace and law and order to be restored. So I welcome the comments from the Minister, but I must emphasise that all efforts must be taken now.
As international pressure mounts, the situation in Bangladesh remains tense, with religious minorities facing an increasingly hostile environment. The attacks and arrests are a stark reminder of the dangerous climate for those advocating for religious freedom and human rights in the country.